How many people in this audience actually believe in the idea that the way you think has some effect on your life? That your thoughts create your life? You believe that, yes? So how many people woke up this morning and consciously created the future? You know, the biggest reason why people don't do it, it's because you don't really believe it's true. You see, if you knew on a gut level that it was absolutely true, would you ever miss a day? And would you ever let any thoughts slip by your awareness that you didn't want to experience? To find out more, get your free online course from my website. So your brain, according to neuroscience, is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of your environment. It's a record, an artifact of your past. So if you believe this then does your environment control your thinking? Or does your thinking control your environment? So if you wake up in the morning and you get out of bed on the same exact side as you did the day before, you shut the alarm clock off with the same finger, you slip into your favorite slippers, you shuffle into the bathroom and you use the toilet like you always do. Then you walk over to the mirror and you look at yourself to remember who you are. And then you get into the shower and you wash yourself in the same routine way. Then you groom yourself to look exactly like everyone expects you to look. And you go downstairs and you drink coffee out of your favorite mug. Then you drive to work the same way as you did before. You see the same people that push the same emotional buttons. You do the exact thing that you know how to do, and you've memorized it, and you can do it so well that you're an expert at it. Then you hurry to check your emails. So then go do work all day and rush home to do it all over again. Let me ask you something. Did your brain patterns change at all that day? We can say that you were thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions that produce the same experiences, that create the same emotions, but secretly expecting something else to happen in your life. Would you agree? So as the environment turns on different circuits in your brain, you begin to think equal to your environment. As you see the same people and go to the same places and do the same things at the same time, it's the external environment that's turning on different circuits in your brain, causing you to think equal and the same to everything that you know. And as long as you think equal to things that are familiar and known to you, what do you create more of? You're just thinking to everything equal that you know. So you keep creating more of the same results. To change, to truly change, is to think greater than your environment. First of all, to know that you have been a robot, you have been a slave, as Plato would say. Until you realize that you have been in robotic, hypnotic mode, you can't wake up, right? Well, now that you're realizing it, you know that it is your responsibility to wake yourself up, or find a coach who can wake you up. Because you have so much more potential. Look at all those people throughout history, or the people you admire. How they created realities that they couldn't only see with their imagination. And what about you and your imagination? What life and work are you dreaming of? Neuroscience tells us it's absolutely possible to create your personal reality. It's that simple. So your personality is creating your personal reality, as my mentor Joe Dispenza says. Your personality is the present personal reality, which is called your life. Would you agree? Would you also agree then that if you want to create a new personal reality, that on a fundamental level you would have to change the thoughts that you are thinking, the perspectives you have, the behaviors and habits that you're demonstrating, and the emotions that you've memorized and have become part of your identity? Most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it never works. You have to literally become somebody else. So then, as you keep thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions, and living by the same experiences that produce the same emotions, there's a principle in neuroscience that says nerve cells that fire together wire together. And if you keep repeating the same states of mind body over and over again, your brain begins to fire in the same sequences and the same patterns and the same combinations. And whenever you make your brain work in a certain way, that's called mind. Mind is the brain in action. So as you remind yourself, as Plato would say, you are causing your brain to fire in the exact same way every morning. And as they fire away in the exact same patterns over time, the brain works into a very finite signature or program. That's called your personality. That box in your brain isn't literally it's not literally a box, but it runs the programs that are running in your life because you keep doing the same things over and over again. To change your mind then is to make the brain work new sequences and new patterns and combinations, to begin to make the brain work differently. And the one ingredient that allows us to do that is knowledge, information. Because every time you learn something new, you're making a new connection in your brain. That's what learning is. Learning is forging new connections. Remembering is maintaining or sustaining those connections. So now, every time you have a thought, you make a chemical. And if you have a great thought, or an unlimited thought, or a joyful thought, you turn on the set of circuits in your brain that fire in a very specific sequence and pattern combination that produces a level of mind that turns on another part of the brain that makes a chemical for you to begin to feel exactly the way you were just thinking. Grateful, unlimited, joyful. Now, if you have a negative thought, an unhappy thought, or a self-depreciating, limiting thought, you turn on a different set of circuits and a different sequence and a different combination and pattern that produces a different level of mind. The brain then begins to make a different batch of chemicals that signals the body for you to begin to feel exactly what you were just thinking, negative or unhappy or unworthy. So the moment you begin to feel the way you think, because the brain is in constant communication with your body, you begin to think the way you feel, which makes more chemicals for you to feel the way you think. And then you think the way you feel, and you feel the way you think, and you see the cycle? And some people do this for 20 or 30 or 40 years. Now, The redundancy of that cycle over time creates what I call a state of being. And a state of being, a thermostat, if you will. That's when your mind and body are working together and your thoughts and feelings are aligned to a concept. So thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And if people get caught up in a cycle of feeling and thinking and thinking and feeling, over time they condition their body to memorize that emotion as well as the conscious mind. And whenever the body knows as well as the mind, that's called a habit. A habit is when your body is mind. 95% of who you are your habits. By the time you're 35 years old, there's a set of memorized behaviors, a set of emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, attitudes that run just like a computer program. So 5% of your conscious mind begins to work against 95% of what you've memorized. So the person who wants to think positively, but they're feeling negatively, they want to create your dream board, your dream life, put up their future life, but they feel unworthy. That's mind and body in opposition. We have to recondition the body to a new mind. So how many people watching know someone who's memorized suffering? It doesn't have to be you, it can be anybody. And you say to that person, hey, did you read the book I gave you? Did you see the YouTube video that I sent you to empower you and motivate you? No. Hey, listen, we're going to go out to dinner, we're going to go for a walk along the water, we're going to do a retreat. No, I don't want to. I feel depressed. I feel no energy to do such things. And we have these types of personalities inside of us, these programs running, okay? And your brain can overcome all these limitations. And actually what happens is the quantum field, the universe, if you will, reality, if you will respond to how you're thinking and feeling, to your state of being, to your vibe, if you like. Now, most people wait for a crisis, a trauma, a disease, a breakup, a diagnosis that they really want to change. They have to reach such a low level that they cannot go on with business as usual any longer. That's when you begin to look at how you're thinking and feeling and checking yourself and looking, maybe I've done something wrong, maybe I can improve something. It starts to have you question. But the question is, why wait? You can learn through pain and suffering and trauma and breakups and drama, or you can choose to wake up yourself, as Plato would say. Wake up from the sleep, the slumber, and do it out of choice, do it out of joy, do it out of enthusiasm to learn. The hardest part of all of this is making the time to do it. Making time for your precious self, for your true, authentic, happy, joyful self. Are you going to give yourself that time? I invite you to come to one of my retreats here on the Athens Riviera. I invite you to my open Q&A online and in person. I invite you to download my ebook and an online course for free. If you don't take advantage of all these tools I'm giving you, it simply means that you want to continue in your zombie state, repeating the same habits you've been repeating for so long. So you have that choice. What'll it be? I'm here for you, always. But don't waste your life. Don't waste your time. Save the date, Friday, March 7th, for our next monthly wellness retreat at the Shaka Club this time. Book now.